My mother, in her dying moments, gave me 3 business cards, telling me that one of these 3 men was my father. I looked at the cards. One was the country's richest billionaire, another was a top superstar actor, and the last was a renowned doctor. I called all 3 of them in order. Not long after, all 3 men appeared at my house. Each of them claimed I was their biological daughter. Lena, your mother is gone. You have no family left in this world. Let Auntie help you find someone to care for you, okay? Aunt Vivian, our neighbor, strode into my house with an ill-intentioned look, just as my mother's funeral concluded. There's Doogie down the street. His family owns the only 2-story house in our village, and his mom raises several pigs. Marry him, and you'll eat well, dress well, and never have to worry about anything your whole life. My face remained expressionless. Why don't you just say Doogie is an idiot, Auntie? Aunt Vivian looked a little embarrassed. So what if he's an idiot? Idiots are easy to manage and easy to teach. Doogie is such a good match, and you have a daughter too. Why don't you marry her off to him? She's about your age. With that, I slammed the door shut. Aunt Vivian, unwilling to give up, tried to push her way in but was met with the door closing directly in her face. She stood outside my house, cursing loudly. You fatherless bastard! I'm doing you a favor by introducing you to someone, and you're ungrateful. I couldn't take it anymore. My anger flared. You're the one without a father. Let me tell you, my father is coming soon. Just wait until he arrives and you'll see. My mother had given me 3 business cards before she passed, saying my father was one of those 3 men. I had called all 3 last night. Judging by the time, they should be arriving soon. How ridiculous. I don't believe you and your mother lived alone for over a decade, and now suddenly a father pops up. Aunt Vivian scoffed, yelling across the village. Everyone, come see. Lena says her father is coming to pick her up. Before long, the gossip-hungry elderly villagers gathered in front of my house. Lena really has a father? She said it herself. I wonder what he's like. Does he have money? Will he treat her well? If he's truly a good father, why did he abandon her and her mother in this remote village? Aunt Vivian said, her chin jutted proudly. I bet he's a drunkard, a womanizer, a gambler. He's got it all. He's probably coming to pick Lena up now to marry her off for a bride price. As Aunt Vivian was in mid-rant, a long line of luxury cars suddenly sped into view, stopping in front of my house. Bodyguards stepped out, forming a circle around a handsome, well-dressed middle-aged man in a suit. His aura was one of undeniable luxury. When everyone clearly saw his face, they gasped in unison. Isn't that Mr. Lin, the billionaire? A ripple of excitement spread, and the villagers began to chatter excitedly. Oh my God, the billionaire is in our village. There must be a new development project. We're all going to get rich. The excited villagers wanted to approach him, but the bodyguards prevented them. Mr. Lin, the billionaire, walked towards me, his eyes solemn and dignified. The moment he saw me, his eyes reddened, and he pulled me into a tight embrace. Lena, I'm so late. Oh my God, Lena is the billionaire's daughter? No way. Aunt Vivian's face distorted in shock. The bodyguards clenched their fists, making her quickly fall silent, forcing a stiff smile. I was a little bewildered. My mother said my father was one of 3 men, and by some stroke of luck, the first one to arrive was indeed my father. Before I could say anything, the billionaire father choked out. It's my fault for making you suffer. Don't worry, I'll make it up to you 1,000, 10,000 times over. I almost said that it hadn't been that bad. My mother was a very capable woman. But faced with his remorseful and loving gaze, I simply nodded silently. Lena, I'm taking you home. He took my hand, about to lead me away. Just then, a man in a white lab coat quickly approached and pulled me into an embrace. Lena, I'm late. I'm so sorry, my child. The villagers were stunned, and I was dizzy. So, who is my real father, the billionaire or the doctor? Both men were around 40, but their demeanors were vastly different. The billionaire exuded power and wealth, while the doctor was simply dressed, wearing glasses. Yet, the people accompanying him were anything but ordinary. Dr. Kyle, please slow down. If you get injured, how will we explain it to our superiors? Exactly. All your research achievements benefit humanity. Please take care of your health. These people looked as if they wanted to kneel before the doctor. The doctor paid them no mind, his eyes fixed on me, tears streaming down his face. I'm so sorry, Lena. I didn't know you existed. From now on, no research is more important than you. Whatever you want, I will give you. "Come, Lena, I'm taking you home." He took my hand, intending to lead me away. The billionaire father wouldn't have it. "She's my daughter." He held my other hand. Just then, a man with white dyed hair, wearing a tight shirt and fashionable denim jeans, stepped out of a supercar. He looked about 10 years younger than the other two. A girl's shout pierced the air. "It's Leo, the superstar actor, my favorite actor." Amidst the screams, he approached me. "Lena is my daughter, no one can take her away." He looked at me, his eyes brimming with tears. "Lena, I am your real father." Oh my God, I actually get to see Leo, the superstar actor, in real life. Sophia's excited shout brought the villagers back to reality. The billionaire, the renowned doctor, and the superstar actor were all vying to be Lena's father. Lena's hit the jackpot. Her life is about to change. Sophia grew envious. "Mom, look how amazing Lena's mother is. She found her 3 amazing fathers. Now look at me." I inwardly sighed, not wanting to say anything. "You wretched brat, I'll beat you to death." Amidst the commotion, my situation was far from peaceful. These 3 men, who were admired figures in their respective fields, were now arguing over me, their biological daughter, like elementary school children. Billionaire father, Lena's aura is exactly like mine. Doctor father scoffed. "Nonsense. A nouveau rich like you dares to compare? Lena is clearly elegant and highly educated, just like me." Superstar actor father, "Both of you shut up. Lena is this beautiful, she's clearly like me." If I let them continue arguing, I was going to get a headache. I cautiously spoke up. "How about we do a DNA test?" My suggestion made the 3 fathers-to-be exchange silent glances, then they spoke in unison. "Let's do it." The billionaire father waved his hand, and his people immediately collected hair samples from all 4 of us. I, along with the 3 men, went to a hospital in the city for the tests. As the billionaire father's people were about to leave, the doctor father objected. "Who knows what tricks your people might pull?" The superstar actor father nodded in agreement. "Exactly." And so, the 3 of them began to argue again. Finally, each appointed a trusted confidant to accompany the samples for testing. The village I lived in was notoriously remote. This matter couldn't be resolved in a single day. All 3 fathers decided to rest at my house and meet the villagers. Seeing the villagers still crowded at the gate, the billionaire father waved his hand. "Thank you all for taking care of my wife and daughter all these years. Here, everyone gets a red envelope." As soon as he spoke, his people immediately carried several bags of money from the cars and distributed stacks to everyone. Each stack must have been at least 10,000 yuan. "Thank you, Chairman. The chairman is handsome and kind. No wonder he's a billionaire, so generous." Lena really has a good father? Even Aunt Vivian, who had called me a bastard and tried to marry me off to Duji, grinned, showing her teeth. "Oh my, the billionaire is truly a billionaire, so incredibly handsome. Sophia, what was that phrase you always say?" Sophia glared at her. "Beautiful enough to melt the universe." Aunt Vivian, unoffended, clapped and laughed. "Right, beautiful enough to melt the universe." She then extended her hand in a gesture of borrowing money. I turned to the billionaire father. "Dad, she just called me a bastard and wanted to marry me off to Duji." The 3 fathers immediately turned furious, throwing their composure out the window. They rolled up their sleeves, ready to beat Aunt Vivian. I quickly intervened. Calm down, just don't give her a red envelope, that's enough." "Absolutely not." Just as the money was within reach, it was snatched away. Aunt Vivian slumped to the ground, wailing, her cries piercing the air. The billionaire father frowned in annoyance. The village chief quickly ordered someone to drag her away. What if she angers the billionaire and he doesn't give us any more money? Exactly. The villagers' quick thinking satisfied the billionaire father, who nodded approvingly. It said that 3 men created drama. While the billionaire father put on a show, the doctor father and superstar actor father were not to be outdone. The superstar actor father snapped his fingers, calling his assistant. "Bring down all the supplies we brought and distribute them to the villagers." The assistant immediately had people carry down instant noodles, mineral water, snacks, fruit, and even new blankets to hand out. I gave the superstar actor father's assistant a thumbs up. "You take really good care of my father," the assistant smiled proudly. "Of course," the villagers cheered happily again. The superstar actor father stroked his hair and added, "Each gift package also includes a signed photo of me." The villagers didn't seem too bothered, but a fan like Sophia shrieked, "Ah, I want one." The superstar actor father gave her a cold look. "No portion for you." He was clearly still upset about Aunt Vivian bullying me. Sophia cried buckets, running home while yelling, "Mom, it's all your fault." I, however, didn't feel an ounce of pity. Most of the villagers were kind, but there were still a few bad apples, typically Aunt Vivian and her daughter. When my mother was alive, they often tried to harm us, but they could never outsmart my mother, so their schemes always ended in failure. When I was handling my mother's funeral, they had already plotted. Aunt Vivian said if I married Doogie, his mother would surely thank them with a few bags of rice. Sophia clapped and said, with her flirtatious looks, she only deserves an idiot like Doogie. I accidentally overheard everything, but at the time, I was too busy with the funeral to settle scores. Now that I had the chance, I naturally had to teach them a lesson. After the billionaire father and superstar actor father made good impressions on the villagers, the doctor father also grew anxious. He intended to go back to the car to retrieve something, but the people beside him frantically urged, "No, sir, don't move. Let us handle it." A few minutes later, assistants brought out a folding table and chairs, setting them up neatly. The doctor father straightened his lab coat, adjusted his glasses, and sat down, offering free medical consultations for an hour. The young people weren't interested, but the village was full of elderly residents who quickly formed a line. The first was Little She's grandfather. "Doctor, my hand suddenly can't move. It's been a week. Am I paralyzed?" The doctor father took the old man's hand, examined it carefully, then gently twisted it. "Done, try moving it." The old man wiggled his hand. "Oh my, it's miraculous. My hand can move again." Once the news spread, the villagers became even more eager. The doctor father remained calm, completely unfazed. Just helping people. Next. After only an hour, the elderly, who had been burdened with various ailments, now felt their back pain gone, their leg aches vanished, and their faces beaming. "All right, everyone, you can disperse now." "Yes, sir." Everyone left quickly, much faster than they had arrived. As the crowd dispersed, the three fathers exchanged glances. "You must be tired, fathers. Come inside and rest for a bit," I suggested. In the heartwarming atmosphere, all three fathers smiled at me. "Whatever Lena says, whatever Lena wants. Lena is so thoughtful." Once inside, I poured tea for each of them. The three fathers, who had initially been at odds, suddenly became pensive. The superstar actor father looked at a coaster and sadly said, "Clara is still as skillful as ever." He was surely talking about my mother, Clara. The bright gleam in the superstar actor father's eyes dimmed, a sight that pained me. I suddenly understood the heartbreak Sophia used to talk about regarding her idol. But even if my mother was skilled, that coaster was something I bought for a few pennies at the market. No need to exaggerate. The doctor father also looked at his cup of tea and sighed. "Little Clara once said she wanted to learn tea ceremony. It seems she has learned it now." But I clearly remembered buying those tea leaves for a few dozen yuan a bag at a rural fair. The billionaire father looked around, unable to find anything to praise, so he went into the garden. He looked at a few small yellow flowers and smiled nostalgically. "Clara still likes to grow flowers in gourds, doesn't she?" What he called flowers were just some wild weeds growing haphazardly. As for the gourds, I remembered sitting on the wall by that corner last year, and then gourds just grew there. So many sarcastic remarks came to mind. If I let them continue, I would suffocate from frustration. So I changed the subject. Even though the test results aren't back yet, based on my age, if we just knew who loved Mom back then, we'd know who my father is. All three men immediately sat up straight. It was me. Did they mean my mother was in love with all three of them at the same time? Impossible. My mother wasn't that kind of person. So, who's lying, or are all three of you lying? The three pointed at each other. "Are you lying? It's you." "Are you kidding? As handsome and charming as I am, why would I need to lie?" "Oh, please, flaunting your looks in front of a superstar actor, how shameless." Then they started arguing again, completely forgetting my question. All I could do was hold my head in exasperation. My mother was an extraordinary woman. I had felt that since childhood. She was beautiful, skilled in martial arts, well-read, and knowledgeable. I just never expected her love life to be so unique. Since there weren't enough rooms in the house, the three fathers slept in the yard that night. The billionaire father's bed was minimalist black and white, but covered in shiny luxury brands. The superstar actor father's bed was colorful, adorned with a giant poster and flashing lights. The doctor father's bed was the simplest, but had many layers of blankets and cushions, presumably so he wouldn't catch a cold. The next morning, the test results arrived. The three men vied to see them. In the end, I held all three copies. Lena, look, whose child are you after all? I opened all three result sheets at once. A series of 99.99% percentages hit my eyes. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. No mistake. This meant I was blood-related to all three of them. I looked up at the three fathers, seeing them all let out a sigh of relief. No matter how naive I was, I knew these results had been tampered with. Not by one person, but by all three of them working together. The three fathers sat back down as if nothing had happened. Since Lena is the child of all three of us, let's see who treats her best, shall we? The billionaire father confidently stated, Lena, I can help you become the youngest female billionaire on the Forbes list. The doctor father said, I have many research achievements. Though I'm not as wealthy as Mr. Lin, it's enough for you to live comfortably for several lifetimes. Most importantly, I love you, his eyes full of affection. The superstar actor father wouldn't be outdone. I'll put my company in your name, Lena, and turn you into a globally famous celebrity. I didn't say anything, and the three continued to argue. Half an hour later, they finally agreed on one thing. Until the real father was determined, all three would live together in the billionaire father's mansion. Only his mansion was large enough to accommodate a laboratory for the doctor father while still providing private space for the superstar actor father. And so, the entire entourage prepared to depart. The piles of luggage that had cluttered the yard were quickly packed by the assistants. I had nothing to pack except my mother's belongings. Before leaving, I couldn't help but ask, Aren't you going to visit Mom? The three fathers immediately stiffened. After a moment, they slowly nodded. Of course, we must. Initially, I thought they didn't want to see my mother, but when we stood before her grave, I understood it wasn't that they didn't want to, but that they didn't dare. All three knelt before my mother's grave, weeping until their eyes were red and swollen, as if they were about to faint. CEO, please calm down. You haven't made a will yet. If you die, who will inherit your enormous fortune? Professor, what about your medical research achievements? Leo, if anything happens to you, not only will Lena have no one to care for her, but tomorrow, you'll be the center of a scandal, with photos of your body spread all over social media. Upon hearing this, the three fathers immediately snapped back to their senses. After visiting my mother's grave, we officially set off. Even the question of whose car I would ride in became a dispute. In the end, all four of us rode in one car. Knowing we were about to leave, the villagers, who had benefited from the three fathers' generosity, came to see us off automatically. Seeing the honest villagers, the billionaire father again grandly waved his hand. I'll send people to repair our village road. Once the road is good, everything else will improve. The villagers cried tears of joy, cheering loudly. As the car was about to leave the village, a woman suddenly rushed out, pulling a child, blocking the car. She knelt, bowing her head repeatedly. Please, divine doctor, save my child. Please, divine doctor. She bowed until her forehead bled. The child beside her smiled innocently, drooling. The doctor father remained unmoved. After all, if he saved everyone he saw, what would be the point of his research? Seeing his people preparing to shoo her away, I couldn't help but speak up. Doctor father, the child kneeling there is Duji. Even though he's a bit simple, he always brought me bird eggs whenever he found them. He was kind to me. The doctor father's cold demeanor softened. He got out of the car to examine Duji. The billionaire father frowned. Lena, you said Duji is the one Aunt Vivian tried to marry you off to, isn't he? I nodded, confirming it. Immediately, both the billionaire father and the superstar actor father became enraged. How outrageous! Not only did she want to marry you off to a common villager, but an idiot at that. Both rolled up their sleeves, intending to go teach Aunt Vivian a lesson. I quickly intervened, and it took a while for them to calm down. The billionaire father was so furious he lost his composure, pointing directly at Aunt Vivian. Your family's road will not be repaired. That single sentence made Aunt Vivian burst into tears, weeping and begging for forgiveness. I'll tell you what, I said. Whatever insults you hurled at me before, you must now yell at yourself for an entire day. Yes, yes, she quickly nodded and started scolding herself on the spot. The billionaire father, disgusted, waved his hand. Stay away and curse. 15 minutes later, the doctor father finished examining Doogie and sighed. He suffered brain damage from a high fever when he was young. If he had received timely treatment back then, it might have been different, but unfortunately, there are no ifs. This village is too remote, and medical awareness is poor. Even if they wanted to go to the hospital, it would have been too late by the time they got there. Doogie's mother desperately asked the doctor, so my son can't become normal again. It's just him and me. If I die, how will he live? The doctor father looked at me, then said, because he was kind to Lena, I will take him with us. Others may not be able to cure him, but I can. It will just take time. Thank you, divine doctor. Thank you, Lena. Doogie's situation made the three fathers fall into pensive silence. Finally, the billionaire father made a decision. The scenery here is beautiful. In a few years, I will invest in developing this into a tourist resort. There will be a hospital, a supermarket, everything. And so, the car began to move. I fell asleep in the car and woke up to find myself in front of an immense, unimaginably luxurious mansion. I walked with my three fathers past a long line of butlers and attendants, entering a dazzling, gold-gilded hall. As the host, the billionaire father, brimming with confidence, sent the other two fathers to their private rooms, while he personally led me to explore my own room. Do you like it? I looked at the gaudy pink princess room, my mind filled with question marks, but seeing my father's expectant eyes, I could only nod. Yes, I love it. After a quick tidy-up, the three fathers gathered around me again, afraid that someone else would spend more time with me than they did. A few hours later, they realized this couldn't go on. The doctor father asked, Lena, now that you're here, why don't we enroll you in school permanently? Oh, no need, I've never actually been to school. The three fathers were stunned. Never been to school? Immediately, all three burst into tears, imagining all sorts of pathetic scenarios for me. I wanted to laugh. Our old house was too far from any school, but even without going to classes, I had still learned everything. After a moment of sadness, the three fathers, who had always been fiercely competitive, for the first time, united in a single decision: to send me to school. After some deliberation, they finally agreed to send me to an elite aristocratic school under the billionaire father's control, which was both safe and provided top-tier education. However, due to safety concerns, and because all three were convinced they were my biological father, they decided not to publicly announce who my father was for the time being. They would wait for accurate results before deciding. I was very pleased with this decision. After all, no matter whose child I was among the three, I could no longer live a modest life. The next day, I got into the luxury car the billionaire father arranged to take me to school. I don't know who leaked the information, but as soon as we arrived at the school gate, I heard my classmates gossiping. I heard the billionaire's daughter is transferring to our school today. Oh my God, it would be amazing to be friends with the billionaire's daughter. I immediately guessed who had leaked the information. Who else but my billionaire father would be so ostentatious? In his desire to outshine the other two fathers, he had certainly put in a lot of thought. I silently sighed, realizing I wouldn't be able to live a peaceful life. To my surprise, when I walked into the classroom, I saw another transfer student. We both stood on the podium, and the whispers below began. 2 new students transferred today. Who's the billionaire's daughter? It must be the girl on the left, Olivia. Her clothes are all limited edition. And the girl next to her, Lena, her clothes don't even have a brand name. Hearing those words, Olivia turned to me, her chin raised in arrogance and disdain. After a brief introduction, the teacher told us to find our seats. There were only 2 empty seats left, one clearly in the center for the billionaire's daughter, and one in the very back corner. Olivia walked straight to the central seat, so I had no choice but to take the corner seat. During recess, the crowd surrounded Olivia. Olivia, are you really the billionaire's daughter? Olivia smiled shyly, saying nothing, but her expression subtly affirmed it. I didn't want to show off, but seeing my identity usurped didn't make me happy. I spoke up. The billionaire's daughter transferring is just a rumor. It might not be true. Olivia's face immediately changed. Lena, are you jealous of me? I am the billionaire's daughter. If I didn't know for a fact that my father wasn't married and I was his only child, I might have almost been fooled by Olivia's confident attitude. The girl next to Olivia glared at me, annoyed. Don't be a sour grape. Or are you going to say the billionaire's father is asterisk your asterisk father? Look at the clothes you're wearing, no brand names at all. Meanwhile, Olivia's clothes are worth over $1,000,000. I had no doubts about the quality of the clothes my father prepared. Just as I was about to speak up, another female student walked over to me. Whether someone is rich or poor isn't judged by their clothes. We're all new friends, let's be a little friendly with each other. Her words warmed my heart, but Olivia and her friends sneered. This is an aristocratic school. Who would be friends with someone of unknown origin like her? The other girl was so angry she couldn't speak. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out. The clothes she's wearing are high-end custom-made from the Chi Group. Regular wealthy families can't even get their hands on them. If you haven't seen it before, don't speak hastily or you'll expose your ignorance. The speaker was the boy sitting behind me. He had been sleeping and after opening his eyes to speak, immediately went back to sleep. I didn't know his identity, but after his words, the group fell silent. Only the girl next to Olivia continued to glare at me furiously. I glared back coldly. After Olivia and her friends left, I turned to the girl who helped me. Thank you. No problem, she said with a sweet smile. I'm Bai Mian, and you? I'm Lena. I glanced back at the sleeping boy behind me. I wasn't sure if he had heard me, but I still quietly said, thank you. After that, Bai Mian and I got along very well and became fast friends. Seeing me keep looking back, she lowered her voice and said, his name is George. He's the only heir of the Gu family. Is he handsome? I nodded. But in truth, I wasn't looking at him because he was handsome, but because his face was very familiar. I just couldn't remember where I had seen him before. Because I had to attend school, the three fathers felt they had too little time with me. So, on the weekend, from early morning, all three were waiting in the living room. The billionaire father was still the first to speak. Lena, where do you want to go today? I'll take you. The doctor father interjected, you should go manage your assets. Let me take Lena. The superstar actor father wouldn't be outdone. I've turned down several big projects just to spend time with Lena. The three again competed over who would get to spend the weekend with me. I shyly said, I've already made plans to go out with a classmate. Initially, all three were a little disappointed, but then they became happy. Lena has only been in school for a week and already has a friend? That's wonderful, have fun. After that, they prepared bodyguards, food, drinks, minifans, electric scooters, and even gave me a supplementary bank card. They were afraid I'd be hungry, hot, or tired. Once I was out of the mansion, I let out a sigh of relief. Oh my, what a sweet burden. Bai Mian and I met at the shopping mall. We went into a jewelry store and then sat at a pastry shop, drinking bubble tea. Our seats were near a glass window from which we could see outside the mall. While eating cake, Bai Mian suddenly grabbed my hand, agitated. Lena, look, Leo is here. I turned, thinking my superstar actor father had arrived, but Bai Mian shook her head. No, it's Leo's seal mascot, she giggled, dazed like a fangirl. Back in the village, whenever Sophia mentioned Leo, she was very exaggerated, but now seeing Bai Mian like this, I understood it wasn't exaggerated at all. After the excitement passed, Bai Mian sadly said, that day I finally got to see Leo, but there were too many people asking for autographs. By the time it was my turn, he was already gone. Seeing my friend sad, I couldn't bear it. I immediately said, I have Leo's autograph at my house. I was telling the truth. Yes, I have 3 fathers. My honest statement made the group burst into laughter again. I didn't bother wasting words on them anymore and pulled Bai Mian away. Being with such people only brought bad luck. I didn't expect that by not bothering with them, they would only push their luck further. The next day at school, just as I handed Bai Mian a signed photo, a signed poster, and a signed t-shirt from my superstar actor father, I found Olivia and her friends spreading rumors. They claimed I was a liar with 3 fathers, that I liked to show off, and that being poor and attending an aristocratic school meant I must be relying on my body, clinging to a rich man to get in. I was so angry I couldn't hold it in any longer. I walked up to Olivia. Apologize to me now. Apologize? Are you even worthy? The one who spoke was the girl who always followed Olivia. Lena, look at yourself. You're not even fit to carry Olivia's shoes. It was these people who made me realize that a person's character has nothing to do with money or social class. Before their venomous words could continue, I swung my hand and slapped the girl across the face. She immediately fell silent, clutching her cheek and turning to Olivia. Olivia, you have to defend me. I then looked at Olivia. You apologize to me, or you'll end up just like her. Olivia was trembling with fear, but she still put on a brave front. I am the billionaire's daughter. If you dare to act recklessly, my father will deal with you. Then I'd like to see how your father will deal with me. I swung my hand and slapped her again. Just then, our homeroom teacher, Ms. Lee, walked in and stopped me. Lena, you are truly going too far, bullying a classmate. Teacher, before you conclude that I am wrong, shouldn't you find out what Olivia did? I looked directly at her, expressionless. The teacher slammed her hand on the desk in anger. No matter what Olivia did, you are not allowed to hit people. Bai Mian tried to speak up for me, but was silenced by Ms. Lee's glare. At this moment, George, the popular boy in school, stood up. Teacher, if someone said you were cheap and got into this school by relying on connections with the dean, wouldn't you be angry? Ms. Lee trembled with rage, but her opponent was George, so she dared not do anything. She pointed at me. Call your parents here. All right. I pulled out my phone and called the billionaire father. In his territory, calling him would certainly have more authority. Less than 15 minutes later, the billionaire father stormed into the classroom, fuming. Who dares to bully my daughter? The entire class fell silent. The billionaire had actually appeared. Olivia and her friends looked at me. Is that your dad? Let's see if you still dare to show off. We should make her crawl 3 laps around the classroom, barking like a dog. They were gloating, but Olivia's face turned pale in front of the teacher and classmates. The billionaire father walked directly to me, carefully checking to see if I was hurt. Then he turned to Olivia and her friends. Your little game is quite something. Option 1, crawl 30 laps in the classroom, barking like a dog. Option 2, your family's company goes bankrupt tomorrow. Then he pointed at Ms. Lee. You, as a teacher, failed to distinguish right from wrong. You're fired. Anyone who dares to bully Lin Xiangfei's daughter will pay the price. After a moment of silence, the entire class erupted. Oh my God, Lena is the billionaire's daughter after all. Olivia is so shameless, daring to impersonate her. She's a true heiress. Why would she live so ostentatiously like Olivia? Her clothes are all huge logos, as if she's afraid others won't know she's rich. The billionaire father's face was cold. It's getting cold. Those who don't comply won't survive. Olivia and her friends immediately got on the floor, their faces red, crawling and barking. Woof, woof, woof. Just then 2 frantic voices rang out. Lena, my dear daughter, are you all right? The doctor father and superstar actor father rushed into the classroom, almost crying. I only called one person. I wonder what else these 2 imagined. The appearance of the other 2 fathers sent another shockwave through the school. Oh my God, Lena really has 3 fathers, and they're all top figures in 3 different industries. How did she do it? That question should be asked of my mother. Knowing what had happened, the doctor father and superstar actor father immediately took action. One kicked Olivia, the other kicked Ms. Lee. After that, the 3 fathers took me home. In the car, I curiously asked, I only called the billionaire father, you know? They chuckled. Wasn't it because he had you on speakerphone, so we heard your call for a parent? The doctor father and superstar actor father were proud of their quick reaction. The billionaire father's face was as black as charcoal, filled with regret. Regret for trying to show off in front of the other 2. From then on, after students and teachers learned I had 3 amazing fathers, everyone became extremely friendly towards me. The principal had to issue a new announcement to quiet down the whole school. To ensure I could live peacefully, the billionaire father used money to suppress public opinion, allowing the news to spread only within the small confines of the school. One day, I was getting ready for school as usual. When I got into the car, I was surprised to see the doctor father already sitting inside. Seeing me get in, the doctor father quickly raised a hand for silence. SHHH, don't make a sound. It took me so much effort to escape from those 2, just to get a chance to bond with you, my daughter. Yes, I replied with a smile. At the school gate, I waved goodbye to the doctor father, but he was staring intently behind me. I turned around and saw George standing nearby. The doctor father softly called out, George, then, regaining his composure, gently ruffled my hair. Go on in, my child. I walked towards the school and saw George waiting. Thank you for speaking up for me yesterday, I said sincerely. It was nothing. He hesitated for a moment, then asked, Can I ask you something? Go ahead. The man in the car just now, what is he to you? He says he's my father, but it's not confirmed yet, I replied honestly. Hearing this, George's eyes darkened. I looked at him and something clicked in my mind. I understood now. From the first time I met George, he had seemed familiar because he strongly resembled the doctor father, combined with that pained look in his eyes. Could George be the doctor father's biological son? On Thursday, the doctor father secretly took me to school. Eventually, he was discovered by the billionaire father and superstar actor father. The two immediately started criticizing the doctor father while simultaneously trying to score points with me. Lena, if you went with him, you should also go with me, shouldn't you? You don't know, but every time I film, I think of you, the superstar actor father said, putting on a wronged expression. The billionaire father was no less gloomy. Now, even seeing my account grow by the hour, I don't feel happy anymore. My mind is filled only with thoughts of you, Lena. To comfort both of them, I said, then this weekend, Saturday you go with the superstar actor father, and Sunday you go with the billionaire father. Yay! The two grown men were as happy as children. On Saturday, I accompanied the superstar actor father to a film shoot. He was as nervous as if it were his first time taking his child out. He had clearly memorized a childcare manual overnight. Every few minutes, he'd offer me water or snacks. Seeing me yawn, he'd rush over to ask if I was sleepy, then immediately set up a folding bed for me. Not wanting to take his eyes off me, he even placed the bed right next to the director so he could glance at me while filming. The entire film crew was busy, and there I was, sound asleep next to the famous director. Was this really okay? Everyone on the crew was curious about who I was, but no one dared to ask. In the lounge, the director and a few lead actors jokingly asked the superstar actor father, "Who's this little girl?" He proudly pushed me forward. "She's my daughter. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she beautiful?" Beautiful, yes, the director frowned. But what? The superstar actor father crossed his arms, his eyes sharp. The director immediately backed down. But you're only in your early 30s and you have a teenage daughter already. Oh, right. Hearing that, he did seem to be the least suitable to be my father. The billionaire father and doctor father were both over 40, a full 10 years older than him. Don't speak nonsense. This girl is definitely my daughter. He gently reassured me, but then turned to the director with a changed expression. Back then, it was normal to have children early. I don't like what you people are saying, now get out all of you. After that, except when he was filming, the superstar actor father stuck to me like glue, not leaving my side for a second. His excessive protectiveness made me feel a bit suffocated. I said I needed to use the restroom, and only then was I temporarily released. When I came out of the restroom, I saw his assistant Lily, standing blankly by the lounge door, her eyes looking inside with a hint of sadness. I stepped closer and saw the film's lead actress tightly embracing the superstar actor father in the lounge. Lily, seeing me appear, quickly hid her sorrow and forced a smile. "Lena, you're back." Then she left. The superstar actor father heard the movement and immediately pushed the actress away. All right, I'm not interested in women. Stop pestering me." The lead actress, unwilling to give up, retorted, "Not interested in women? Then where did your daughter come from?" "She just happens to resemble me. What does that have to do with you? Don't cling to me anymore. If you don't leave, I'll replace you as the lead actress." Hearing this, the lead actress, full of resentment, covered her face and left. The superstar actor father looked at me, forcing a smile. "Lena, did Dad scare you?" I looked at his pained face and gently stroked his brow. "Dad, no matter what you're like, I'm not scared. I like you because you're my father." The superstar actor father immediately reddened, hugged me, and choked back tears. "Thank you, my good daughter." After spending time with the superstar actor father, it was Sunday, the day the billionaire father had most looked forward to. He also took me out early in the morning, saying he wanted me to experience his typical day. The car drove on, but we didn't arrive at any company. "Dad, is your company very far from home?" I wondered. The billionaire father shook his head. Who said working means you have to go to a company? My curious gaze made him extremely smug. He grandly swept his hand through the air. From the moment you left the mansion until now, everything you've seen is my property, and it will all be yours someday. He spread his arms as if to say, see, am I rich? Am I cool? Hurry and praise me. Not wanting to dampen his spirits, I quickly clapped. Dad, you're amazing, he laughed heartily. I softly reminded him, Dad, it looks like you have wrinkles at the corners of your eyes. He immediately stopped laughing, pulled out a mirror and looked. Seeing the wrinkles, he just sighed. Thank you, my child. Since you appeared, I've smiled much more than before. Before you came back, for many years, I almost forgot how to smile. Dad, I held his hand, I'll always be with you. But don't get old too fast, okay? Don't worry, Dad is still very young. The car stopped in the bustling city center. On both sides were luxurious chain stores, splendidly decorated. Only a small, old, dilapidated house opposite the car looked out of place, with brick walls and a faded tin roof, as if forgotten by time. Dad, is that place yours too? He shook his head, his eyes suddenly filled with sorrow. No, that belongs to your mother. He choked up before finishing. That year, your mother saved up and bought that house, saying she wanted to earn money and make our whole family rich. I hugged him tightly, gently patting his back to comfort him. That night, I went to my room and made 3 cards. This was something I learned from my friends at school. Here, kids are very good at expressing their feelings. If they're shy to say it directly, they'll write a card and give it to the other person. I wrote 3 identical cards. Dad, I love you. I will always love you. I left my room and distributed the cards according to distance. First, to the billionaire father, then the doctor father, and finally the superstar actor father. After giving the card to the doctor father, I heard voices from inside. Professor, please come back with us. Your status is noble, it's very dangerous to be out here like this. Moreover, the project under your care is at a critical stage. The doctor father spoke coldly. I can still do research here, but the equipment is insufficient, making progress difficult. The other person tried to persuade him. The doctor father suddenly became angry. So what? I have dedicated my entire life to medicine, to the people, to the country. Am I not allowed to live the rest of my life for my beloved daughter? My heart trembled when I heard that. Pretending not to have heard anything, I quietly left. When I gave the card to the superstar actor father, he was on the phone with his assistant, Lily. Just take the role, this movie will take your career to new heights. He seemed indifferent. I'm already at the peak, what more heights do I need to reach? Before Lily could continue, he cut her off. In short, I won't accept any films shot outside the city. Then he hung up. The next morning, I went to the living room. All 3 fathers had red eyes, clearly having read the cards last night. After breakfast, they competed to take me to school. I said, I've taken a week off school. What? Are you not feeling well somewhere? Or were you bullied by friends? If anyone makes you sad, tell me, and I'll go get justice for you. The 3 fathers surrounded me, full of all sorts of worries. No, it's not that. I just want to spend time with you, fathers. Honestly, when I'm at school, I miss you all very much. My honest words moved all 3 to tears. Our daughter has grown up. She's truly a warm little cotton coat for her fathers. Oh my God, heaven truly has eyes, giving me such a wonderful daughter. That week, apart from eating and sleeping, the 4 of us stuck together like glue. We went to amusement parks, aquariums, climbed mountains, gazed at the moon, and did all sorts of things. Every day was filled with laughter. Sunday evening, the last day of our break. After dinner, I was studying in the living room. The fathers were also sitting around me. One watched financial videos, another read a book, and the third read entertainment news. I quietly said, I have something to tell you. They immediately put everything down and turned to me. What is it, Lena? I looked at their 3 gazes filled with love, took a deep breath, and said, Actually, I know you aren't my biological fathers. In fact, I had known from the very beginning that none of them were my biological fathers. My mother was a special woman. In the poor village where we lived, people were simple and honest, yet somewhat backward. They mostly focused on farming, eating, and gossiping. My mother was different. She didn't farm or do manual labor. She wrote online to earn money to raise me. While the village children couldn't go to school because it was far away and everyone thought education wasn't important, my mother taught me to read when I was 3. Even without attending school, I never fell behind in my studies. When other children wanted to learn, my mother taught them with a serious attitude. Initially, people thought my mother was dreaming and doing something impractical. But when 2 children taught by my mother got into university, the village's perception changed. The village chief even nominated my mother to be the first and only teacher in the village. During the day, everyone was busy working in the fields, so my mother could only teach in the evenings or when she had free time. For most of the remaining time, my mother sat in the yard, her eyes gazing into the distance with a deep sadness. When I was little, I often asked her what made her sad. She didn't answer, and eventually I stopped asking. It wasn't until just before she passed away that my mother told me about her past. Only then did I know that a profound pain lay within her heart. In a very distant place, there were 3 men my mother always remembered and cherished. My mother and these 3 fathers grew up together in an orphanage. Initially, it was my mother, the billionaire father, and the doctor father. They were inseparable, playing together like shadows. Later, on an outing, they found the superstar actor father when he was a child and collectively raised him. The 4 grew up together in poverty, but their companionship was enough for happiness. Until they graduated from university, my mother and the 3 fathers pooled their money and bought a small townhouse. They planned to celebrate with a barbecue. Unexpectedly, during the meal, my mother was harassed by a group of thugs. The 3 fathers, enraged, fought back to protect her. Little did they know those thugs had powerful connections. As a result, all 3 were arrested. They contacted my mother, saying, "You want to save them? Fine, come here and exchange your life or they will die." To save all 3, my mother went. That night, my mother endured pain beyond human endurance, leaving a deep wound in her heart that she could never overcome. At one point, she wanted to commit suicide, but she thought that if she died, my 3 fathers would not be able to live either. So, my mother decided to leave. She initially planned to go to a secluded place to quietly pass away. However, by fate's hand, my mother miraculously survived. Afterward, my mother would secretly follow the outside world. Through the internet, she learned that the men who had shamed her had been imprisoned by the 3 fathers, and not long after, were killed in a brawl in jail. Then, the billionaire father took 5 years to build his commercial empire. The doctor father and superstar actor father also did their best. The 3 supported each other, and their reputations grew far and wide. But my mother said that even though their lives became increasingly brilliant, their hearts remained stuck in the past. No one married, no one had children. My mother couldn't rest easy with me, nor could she rest easy with them, which is why she gave me their contact information and told me to find them. After I finished explaining why I contacted them, the 3 fathers buried their faces in their hands, sobbing. My mother said death was a release for her, but not for you, fathers. She hoped you could let go of the past. Saying this, I too choked up. The crying in the living room lasted for a very long time before finally subsiding. But how does one overcome such a painful past? I walked up to the doctor father. "Dad, in your life, it's not just Mom and me, there's also George. If I'm not mistaken, George is your biological son." The doctor father explained, flustered, "At that time, I missed your mother so much that I drank. George's mother put something in my drink. I truly didn't mean it. Lena, do you believe me?" "I believe you." I didn't hesitate. "But you don't acknowledge them, George and his mother. The ones hurt are not just them, but also yourself. You clearly love George, but you both resent his mother and feel guilty towards my mother, so you torture yourself." "I don't love him," he tried to deny. I cut him off. "If you don't love him, why do you secretly watch him every time you drop me off at school?" The doctor father was speechless. I then turned to the superstar actor father. "Dad, you clearly know Lily has liked you for decades, ever since she was little. I don't believe you haven't realized it." "I don't know," he quickly retorted, but his eyes avoided mine. "Besides, if she likes me, that's her business. I don't like her, and that's that." "Really? If you didn't care, why did you deliberately let her see you hugging the lead actress? Wasn't it to make her give up? But if she had truly given up, she wouldn't have stayed by your side all these years." Mom said before she passed that she was very happy, only regretting that she couldn't rest easy because of you, fathers. What she longed for most was for you to step out of the darkness, not to be like that old house on the bustling street, forgotten by time. Mom is gone. Are you going to wait until you lose another loved one before living in regret and remorse? George is about to go abroad, and Lily has also submitted her resignation, preparing to leave. Both of you, please think carefully." The two fathers stood frozen. After a long moment, they looked up, their eyes red at me. "Lena, wait for us." Then the two rushed out. Looking at their retreating figures, I smiled contentedly. I turned to the billionaire father, who had always been so dashing, now only looking sorrowful. He raised a hand. "What do you intend to advise me on? Go on, speak." To be honest, I didn't know what to say, because he seemed to care about nothing but me. Seeing my confusion, he smiled softly. "Lena, in this world now, besides you, I care about nothing else. Those two are gone, no one will compete for you with me anymore. I will live the rest of my life for you. I don't know what to say, but Mom left a message for you." Hearing this, the billionaire father trembled all over. Did she have something to tell me? "Mom said that actually, you are my biological father." "What?" He was choked up. "You're my biological daughter?" I nodded. That year, Mom fled to a remote area, intending to commit suicide, but just then she felt the fetus in her womb begin to stir. It was me, over 3 months old. And that terrifying night had only passed 3 days prior. Because she didn't know my exact date of birth, all 3 men assumed I was the result of that nightmare, which is why they all vied to be my father. Mom said if I could survive that ordeal, then she, too, had to live for me. At this, the billionaire father embraced me tightly, sobbing. So, it turned out that before the tragedy, he had truly loved my mother, only he hadn't had the chance to tell the other two. The feelings of the doctor father and superstar actor father were more about remorse and kinship. Only the billionaire father had truly loved my mother. The next day, the doctor father and superstar actor father returned. Beside the doctor father were George and his mother. He told me, "Lena, I've transferred all the money earned from my research projects into your name. I'll continue my research. Any future profits will go to George. Don't worry, it won't be much. The person I love most is still you." The superstar actor father wouldn't be outdone. "Lena, Lily and I have changed the name of our film production company to yours. The main shares are also yours." I had never really cared about money, but not to betray the goodwill of my two fathers, I could only smile and nod. A few days later, everything returned to normal. The doctor father continued his medical research, his lifelong passion. The only difference was that this time, George and his mother were also by his side. The superstar actor father and Lily were no longer separate either. The two now shared a room. Summer arrived, and I returned to my hometown with the billionaire father. The once remote little village had transformed. The roads were wide and flat, there was a school, a hospital, and it was being developed into a tourist area. All thanks to the billionaire father's efforts. When we returned to the village, the villagers gathered at the entrance to welcome us. The billionaire father happily greeted everyone, and I saw a young man beside him trembling. I took a piece of candy and offered it to him, just like the bird eggs from long ago. "Don't be scared, go on." He got out of the car. Before everyone's eyes, he knelt before his mother. The mother was stunned for a few seconds, then hugged him tightly. "Duji, you're cured, you're not an idiot anymore." I also returned home with the billionaire father. Amidst the villagers' welcome, the house was still as it was the day I left, unchanged. On a cool summer night, I lay on a makeshift bed outside in the yard. In my half-sleep, I felt a gentle breeze. I opened my eyes and saw the billionaire father sitting there, fanning me. Just like in the old days, my mother used to do the same. "Lena," he softly called me, "do you see the brightest star in the sky?" "Yes, I do." "I think that's your mother," he said. "She never left. She just changed the way she continues to protect us."